Hey everybody, welcome to Section C. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Crystal, and as you can see by the title, we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. I told you guys on my Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure you're following me on Instagram because those are like instant updates on my life, whereas YouTube, it's just a little hard to keep up like as fast. But on my Instagram, I had told you guys about a couple months ago that I wanted to start doing more beauty segments on my channel. When I first started my YouTube channel, it was a lot of makeup tutorials and they were fun, but Courtney was just born and it was just really hard to want to film beauty tutorials and not get interrupted by a screaming baby. But now 2 years later, I finally figured out some sort of a schedule for me to have like my time with you guys as far as like doing stuff, you know, beauty related, because I would just like get really nice and go to the car, and that's where I would have my alone time with you guys, just doing my smoke with me's. But right now it is way too hot to be hotboxing the car, and most of you guys' comments have been so many beauty questions, and I'm just like, I want to dedicate time to talk about those things. People that come to my channel for my smoking videos, not all of them care about, you know, makeup, so it's like, why am I gonna like talk about that then? So like I said, if you're following my Instagram, then you know that I've been talking about this for a while. A couple of makeup brands had reached out to me and sent me PR, so I've been like really finding my love again with makeup. And on top of that, coronavirus quarantine has kind of turned me into a shopping addict, and the amount of makeup that I have been purchasing is bad. But luckily, you know, keeping my fingers crossed, luckily I've been loving all of the products I bought. I haven't really gotten like something so off where I couldn't use it completely, because you know, due to coronavirus, everything was closed, and I've been just doing a lot of makeup shopping online, which isn't really like me, but it's been working out. But anyways, so another thing was, I was watching my makeup tutorials like when I first started doing YouTube, which was only like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, but they were cringe. Like, they were so cringe. And on top of that, like, I don't do my makeup like that anymore. And it's funny because when I first started, you know, doing YouTube around that time, I wasn't really into a lot of things makeup wise that I'm into now. But anyways, you know what, let's just get into my beauty favorites and we'll talk as I show you guys the products. So it was really hard to pick just two to three items like in each category that are my favorite. So the way I thought about it was, if my house was gonna catch on fire and I only had like an hour to grab makeup items that I wanted, like these would be the ones currently that I would grab. Does that make sense? I don't know. But anyways, the way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna go in the order that I do my makeup. So I start with my brows. So the two brow products that I would grab if my house was on fire. So these two products are my brow products. I use the Brow Wiz, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil. This one is the Micro Brow Pencil by Morphe. Now this one, like I said, if you were to change the packaging, I would honestly not be able to tell the difference. The only difference is the price point. This is like $5 and the Anastasia Beverly Hills is like $28. And I go through them just as fast, so it's just more, you know, affordable to get the Micro Brow Pencil. For a shade range reference, I use Ebony in the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and the identical like color for that is Chocolate Mousse. That's what I use for the Morphe one. And just to show you guys a quick example, one of my eyebrows is Morphe and one of my eyebrows is Anastasia. At this point, I don't know which one is which, but one of them, they're different. They're not the same one. And as you can see, I have the same exact results. So A bitch ain't lying. The next step after I do my brows is I carve out my brows, and the only item I have for that is the Tarte Shape Tape. I carve my brows underneath with the Tarte Shape Tape, and above I always use whatever foundation I'm using that day, like that I choose, is that's how I would carve out the top. So as far as carving, I always use Tarte Shape Tape. Now, obviously the next step would be prepping my lids for my eyeshadow. Again, I used to use the Tarte Shape Tape for a base for my eyeshadow, but now I use the P. Louise. They're the same to me. As far as same, I mean how it works for me. So it doesn't crease, it holds the pigment really well, but the P. Louise is more like sticky, whereas the Tarte Shape Tape is a little bit more dry. But yeah, I still carve my brow with this, but then I do my base with this, you know, depending on my mood. If I'm in a rush, honestly, I'll just drag this all the way down and blend it out. Also, I really wouldn't even be able to choose a palette, but it would probably be a neutral one if I had to, but I really wouldn't be able to pick the brand because, like I said, like every palette every day is like for a different mood. I can't base that. But wait, I'm thinking fire. Remember, I'm in a fire, so I obviously wouldn't want to be left with no palettes. I wouldn't be able to pick two, but I'll just grab any neutral one, honestly. Probably like one of my Morphe neutral brown ones, because a bitch will just have a brown lid every day. So after eyeshadow comes liquid liner, and I only use one liquid liner, and I have not switched since like day one that I've been using the liquid liner. So the liner that I use is the Kat Von D Tattoo liner. Now there's two different types of liners that Kat Von D has. She has the ink liner and the tattoo liner. I use the tattoo liner. There's a really big difference. The ink liner is a felt tip, and I do not fuck with felt tip. Like I just can't work with them. I always need a brush tip. Now this one is a feather tip liner, and it's super thin, and you see how much pressure I'll go down and bend it and it won't leak. That does not happen with felt tips. With felt tips, you get a little bend and boom, that shit squirts all over your freaking face. It dries down, but it doesn't dry down super matte. Like, you see my eyes right now? Like, they don't look like matte or dry. They're like right in between. And I did this about like 2 hours ago. So as far as mascara, I use the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. It is such a thin wand. Look at those bristles. And they let you get right to your root. And it makes them so long. Every time I wear this mascara by itself, I always get compliments. Like, always. So if I had to pick lashes to run on my house with, I would literally just grab these three. So these two are from the brand Kilo Luxe Lashes, and this one is from the brand Bella Jules. These are all small companies, so I will leave their Instagram down below in the description box if you want to check out their pages. Their lashes are so bomb. These are 3 styles that I would definitely recommend. They are my favorite styles that I wear all the time. So in the Kilo Luxe Lashes, I wear Get Into It, but in my head I say Get Into It. And then these are in the style Trouble. Oh, I'm currently wearing Lethal from Kilo Luxe. So yeah, we're gonna add that one too, because these I like too. These are my favorite when I really want to show off my eyeshadow look. Like, I can look straight up, they're super thick, they're super curly, but they're gappy enough where you can still see my whole eyeshadow look. These are way closer together and fluffier, so I like them when I just want to like show off lashes. And these from Bella Jules are my favorite style. I would say they're in between the Kilo Luxe lashes, like they're in between those and the ones I'm wearing. I feel like it's a perfect blend of both. And these are called the style La Patrona. I think that's how you say it. But these are literally my favorite. If you could kind of see what I mean, Like they're super, super curly and you can kind of see through them where they're not so, so thick. But yeah, these, honestly, my last Instagram picture is probably the whole quarantine. These are the only lashes I've been wearing. So check them out. Help support small businesses. If I had to pick 2 primers, the primers I would use is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which everybody knows. Like, I feel like everyone has this. And if you don't have this, go get it. It's like $6 in Target and you won't regret it. I would choose this one, and I would choose the Professional by Benefit, the Pore Primer. I would choose between these 2. Well, I wouldn't choose. I would grab them. Like, I would be like, you're in my bag. But yeah, so these I would definitely grab with me. These are must. But of course, if I had to pick one, it would definitely be the e.l.f. Putty Primer. And I'm not lying. Like, I'm not lying. Now we're down to foundation. And this is actually pretty difficult for me for the simple fact that I have purchased so many foundations during this like quarantine. But I'm going to bring it down to 4. So the first foundation that I would pick would be my Holy Grail Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I am in the shade Natural Beige. This is like my dog. Like, honestly, I would only need her, but I'm gonna give you guys options because not everyone's gonna just probably fuck with her. But just so you know, I don't really like matte foundations. I just don't. I don't have dry skin, but I just don't like the idea of a dry face, if that makes sense. But yes, so most of the foundations that I own they're more of a dewy finish, but they're full coverage. I'm a full coverage girl. Second runner up would be my YSL All Hours foundation. This to me is like a perfect dupe for Too Faced. It's literally identical. Like, they're definitely my top 2. For the third place, my Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I am in the shade Noisette. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I actually just purchased this a couple weeks ago, and I used it about 3 times and I love it. This one is actually a little bit more matte than my other foundations, but I can't believe that this, like, I feel like it's definitely underrated because I just can't believe I haven't heard about trying it any sooner. But she's up there and she's getting up there, especially for the summertime. I reach for her a little bit more than the Too Faced, only because the Too Faced, again, like I said, is a little bit more on the dewy side, where this has just this backup of like mattifyingness that I'm just like, she good for the heat. I gotta wear things a couple times to like put it in this video, but I'm just gonna let you guys know that I'm currently wearing the Dose of Colors in the shade 116. I tried it for the first time today. I liked it. I'm actually gonna do a more in-depth video for you guys with it, and as well as the concealer, but that you will have to wait for. As far as setting powders, my 2 favorite setting powders right now is the Dermablend Professional Loose Setting Powder and the Too Faced Born This Way setting powder. Now, they are both in the shade Translucent. This girl right here, she's my number 1 right now. This is number 1. This is definitely for my under eyes where I focus more. It leaves a nice smooth blur finish. And I don't know if y'all know, but if y'all haven't tried the Too Faced Born This Way setting powder in the shade Translucent, I'm only saying that because I know certain shades get a little bit different, you know. But as far as Translucent, like, I feel like people are definitely sleeping on it. I got this around the time that the Laura Mercier was like a really big thing, and I used to use the Laura Mercier, but once I switched to this, I haven't bought Laura. Like, Laura, I'm sorry, don't know who you are. Now, for beauty blenders, even though these aren't beauty blenders like the brand, these are the e.l.f. sponges. Now, if you haven't tried an e.l.f. sponge, just give it a try. It's $5. You won't regret it. I have not. This one actually gets bigger when it's wet. This one I just used it, so it's pretty big. Don't understand why the beauty blender is like $22, because these are $6 and they work just as great. If anything, they are a little softer. But again, just give it a try. You got $6. I promise you won't regret it. Now for bronzers. So for my cream bronzers, I actually use the L'Oreal concealer. This one is the Infallible Full Wear Concealer in the shade Honey, and I actually use this as a cream contour, and as well as the Cara Beauty Micro Contour Pencil. Now, this is a great dupe for the KKW contour sticks. These are so blendable, so creamy. Whenever I want a cream contour, it's definitely between these two. This one ranges for about $10. This one ranges for $4. And if you're interested in any products in the Cara Beauty website, don't forget to use code Section C and it'll get you some money off. Now for bronzers, one is more high-end or one is more low-end. I used Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and I use the Morphe bronzer. Now look at the size difference. Like, come on. And this one is only like, I don't know the price right now, but I no more than 10. Like, no more than 10. This one was probably like 30 something. But yeah, these are my bronzers. As far as highlights, my two favorite highlights are the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose highlighter in the shade Vegas, loose highlighter from Artist Couture in the shade Summer Haze. These are my two favorite highlighters. I would say they're a little closer to like Champagne Pop, if you remember that one, and like in between Champagne Pop and the Amrezy highlighter. By the way, that one was like my favorite highlighter ever, and it's like still discontinued. Like, I need that highlighter back in my life. Like, Anastasia, please, like, get to it. So if you're an OG to this channel, then you know in the beginning I used to tell you guys all the time that I don't fuck with blush and that I don't like warm tones. Like, I just wasn't with it. But now, 2 years later, I'm a whole new bitch and I love it. Like, blush is like my new favorite thing right now because I just started using it, and I love warm tones. Like, it really works well with my skin. So I don't know what I was thinking, but anyways. So this I actually got for $10 at Ulta. It is the BH Vanilla Peach Truffle 4 blush palette. So these are more like, oh, I got hair on me. These are more like powdery pinky, you know, like baby pink. They're not really too warm, so I was like, I like that. I'm actually using this one right here today because I knew it would go with like the babiness of like my mint eyeshadow. And these shades I actually got a little on the warmer side for when I'm feeling spicy. So this is the blush trio from Morphe. This one is in Pops of Peach, and this one is in Pops of Coral. When I want to feel like more warm, I definitely aim for these two blush palettes, but these are all super affordable. These were like $5 and this was $10, so that's super affordable. My holy grail and my only one is the Morphe setting spray. I have like 5 of these on hand at a time because it's such a fine mist and it's such a lightweight product that you don't really know like when you're gonna run out. You just run out. So I just make sure to have like 5 on me at once, and they randomly have sales where you can get 2 for a cheaper price. So always make sure to like check your Morphe emails because they be hooking you up.